I really tried my best, please watch the video until the end.
The cold water rises slowly around my dark metallic boots. Thousands of elite soldiers block every possible exit route. Their heavy armor clanks loudly against the ruined stone walls. I calculate the exact distance between me and the front line. A bright searchlight sweeps across the dark, flooded courtyard. System alert neural static ability is ready for deployment. My pulse remains completely steady despite the massive threat. The lead commander raises his heavy weapon toward my chest. A low hum vibrates through the dense air around my body. I focus my energy into the outer layer of my synthetic skin. Vivid neon spots begin to form across my dark forearms. The soldiers tighten their grip on their energy rifles. System alert chromatic hypnosis sequence initiated now. Complex fractal patterns erupt across my entire surface area. The vibrant colors shift with violent and sudden speed. A blinding visual noise fills the space between us all. The front row of soldiers suddenly stops their forward march. Their optical sensors fail to process the rapid color shifts. I increase the frequency of the bright neon skin pulses. The heavy weapons slip slowly from their relaxed, armored hands. A loud metallic crash echoes as rifles hit the wet ground. System alert enemy neural pathways are experiencing overload. The commander sways heavily on his thick mechanical legs. His brain attempts to decode the impossible visual data. I watch his cognitive functions shut down completely. The vivid fractals on my skin spin in impossible geometry. A deep trance washes over the entire hostile military force. Their bodies become entirely rigid under the hypnotic effect. I step forward through the thick wall of frozen soldiers. None of them register my physical presence in the real world. They are trapped inside a beautiful and false mental victory. The commander smiles blankly at the empty air before him. He sees a fake reality where my broken body lies defeated. System alert. Illusion synchronization reached maximum level. My physical form begins to blend into the dark background. The neon patterns match the exact texture of the stone walls. I dissolve completely into the fabric of the cold environment. A heavy silence falls over the once chaotic military zone. Only the sound of dripping water breaks the quiet atmosphere. I walk right past the heavily armed guards without any fear. Their blank eyes stare directly through my camouflaged body. The visual static scrambles their basic survival instincts. I observe their pathetic vulnerability with cold logic. A single strike could easily end all their miserable lives. System alert target vital signs indicate deep sleep state. I choose to leave them trapped in their glorious delusions. The energy required for this skill drains my internal reserves. I must reach the extraction point before the effect fades. My boots make absolutely no sound on the wet stone floor. The fractal patterns continue to swirl across my hidden skin. I pass through the massive steel gates of the enemy fortress. The outer perimeter guards stand like frozen stone statues. Bright neon colors pulse gently along my stealthy forearms. The dark sky above hints at an approaching violent storm. I adjust my visual frequency to match the falling raindrops. System alert. Environmental adaptation is fully successful. The cold rain washes over my constantly shifting outer shell. I analyze the tactical map projected inside my neural link. 3 more enemy patrols block the path to the dense forest. They rely entirely on advanced thermal imaging equipment. My body temperature drops rapidly to match the cold air. The neon fractals absorb all emitted heat from my core. I step directly into the clear view of the first patrol unit. Their thermal scanners sweep right across my empty position. The visual noise corrupts their digital camera feeds instantly. System alert sensor disruption field remains highly active. A confused soldier taps his helmet visor with a heavy glove. He wonders why his expensive gear shows only static noise. I unleash a concentrated burst of chromatic light at his face. The intense colors bypass his dark visor without resistance. His nervous system crashes under the sudden data overload. He drops to his knees while staring at the empty dark space. The rest of his squad turns around to check on his status. I expand the hypnotic field to cover the entire squad area. Bright geometric shapes dance through the wet night air. The soldiers freeze instantly as the light hits their eyes. Their minds sink into a deep ocean of false, happy memories. System alert. Multiple targets neutralized without combat. I walk past their rigid bodies with absolute calm precision. The wet mud squelches softly beneath my heavy combat boots. A massive armored vehicle approaches from the northern road. Its bright headlights cut through the heavy falling rain. I stand perfectly still in the middle of the muddy path. My skin alters its pigment to mimic the empty dark road. The vehicle speeds directly toward my camouflaged position. I wait until the heavy metal machine is just meters away. System alert. Maximum camouflage output is required now. The truck passes right through the space where I just stood. I slide smoothly along the cold side panel of the vehicle. The driver looks out his window at the empty dark forest. He suspects absolutely nothing about my hidden presence. I detach from the moving truck and drop into the wet bushes. The dense foliage provides excellent natural cover for me. My fractal patterns shift to match the green wet leaves. A flying drone hovers quietly above the tall dark trees. Its red scanning laser searches the ground for any movement. I project a false image of a small animal running away fast. The drone immediately follows the fake visual signature. System alert. Aerial surveillance is successfully redirected. I continue my silent march through the dark hostile forest. The enemy base slowly disappears behind the thick tree line. My core mission objectives are completed with high efficiency. The stolen data drive rests safely inside my secure pocket. Thousands of soldiers will wake up to a massive failure. They will remember a glorious victory that never really happened. System alert, chromatic hypnosis cooldown period has started. The bright neon spots slowly fade from my tired dark skin. I feel heavy exhaustion hit my central nervous system now. Using an SSS-Rank skill demands a massive physical toll. I lean heavily against the rough bark of a massive old tree. The cold rain helps lower my dangerous high core temperature. I take a deep breath of the fresh, wet air filling my lungs. A small tracking device beeps softly on my left wrist armor. The extraction team waits at the designated safe zone ahead. I push my tired body away from the dark wooden tree trunk. Every step forward requires immense focus and raw willpower. System alert. Physical stamina is dropping to critical levels. I ignore the warning and force my legs to move much faster. The sound of distant sirens echoes through the silent woods. They finally discovered the absolute truth about their base. Panic will spread fast among the elite military commanders. They cannot fight an enemy that controls their very reality. My neural static makes me the ultimate ghost in this war. I reach the edge of a high cliff overlooking the dark ocean. The violent waves crash loudly against the sharp, jagged rocks. A sleek stealth ship rises slowly from the deep black water. Its dark metallic hull blends perfectly with the night sky. A hidden side door opens quietly to reveal a dim red light. System alert extraction vehicle is ready for fast boarding. I step off the wet cliff and fall toward the waiting ship. My heavy boots hit the metal deck with a loud, solid thud. The mechanical door slides shut completely, sealing me inside. Warm air rushes into the small, dark decontamination chamber. I remove my wet tactical gear and drop it on the steel floor. The mission was a complete success without a single casualty. I walk slowly toward the main control room of the vessel. The pilot nods silently without asking any useless questions. We dive deep below the rough surface of the stormy dark sea. System alert. Neural link disconnected from the enemy network. I sit down heavily in the leather command chair to rest now. The power of the Cuttlefish camouflage is truly terrifying. Tomorrow will bring another impossible mission to complete. System alert power regeneration cycle has officially started. I will be fully ready when the next massive battle begins. The stealth submarine glides silently through the dark water. I watch the depth gauge drop rapidly on the main console. The ocean pressure threatens to crush our metallic hull. System alert. Deep sea sonar detects massive hostile objects. 3 heavy torpedoes cut through the black ocean currents. The enemy forces anticipated my exact extraction trajectory. The pilot grips the steering yoke with intense physical force. I calculate the impact time based on their current velocity. We have exactly 12 seconds before total hull destruction. System alert. Evasive maneuvers are statistically impossible. I stand up from the leather chair and walk to the airlock. The pilot stares at my back with utter confusion. I open the heavy steel door and step into the flood chamber. The cold seawater rushes in and fills the small, tight room. My body temperature drops to match the freezing deep ocean. I activate my neural static ability at maximum output level. System alert. Aquatic camouflage sequence is now fully active. The outer hatch opens wide into the crushing black abyss. I push myself out into the violent, freezing water currents. The immense pressure squeezes my synthetic skin armor tight. I project a massive chromatic illusion across the dark water. Bright neon colors explode through the deep ocean darkness. The incoming torpedoes rely on advanced optical targeting. My visual static scrambles their basic guidance processors. System alert projectile trajectories are successfully altered. The heavy weapons veer sharply away from our stealth vessel. They detonate harmlessly against a distant underwater ridge. A massive shockwave ripples through the dark, freezing water. The kinetic force pushes my body backward against the hull. I stabilize my position using small magnetic boot thrusters. 3 massive enemy submarines emerge from the murky depths. Their front searchlights cut through the dark ocean water. I must disable their entire fleet before they fire again. System alert multi-target hypnosis requires extreme energy. I channel all remaining core power into my outer dermal layer. The fractal patterns spin wildly across my metallic forearms. I swim directly toward the massive central enemy warship. The harsh lights illuminate my rapidly shifting neon skin. The enemy navigators look directly at my bright visual noise. Their optical nerves transmit the corrupted data to the brain. System alert. Hostile cognitive functions are crashing fast. The central submarine suddenly halts its forward momentum. I project a false reality directly into their visual cortex. They see a massive sea monster tearing their ship apart now. Panic spreads instantly among the trapped military crewmen. The captain orders an immediate emergency surface protocol. The huge vessel tilts upward and rushes toward the surface. I turn my attention to the remaining 2 flanking submarines. My energy reserves drop dangerously close to absolute zero. System alert warning. Critical power failure is approaching. I ignore the system warning and push my body even harder. The water around me boils from the intense thermal output. I release a blinding flash of pure chromatic hypnotic light. The intense beam pierces the thick glass of their viewports. Every single crew member instantly falls into a deep trance. Their hands slip away from the critical navigation controls. The 2 massive metal ships collide heavily into each other. A violent explosion tears their thick armored hulls apart. System alert enemy fleet has been completely neutralized. I watch the burning debris sink slowly into the black abyss. My vision blurs as the heavy exhaustion finally hits my brain. I deactivate the neon fractals and blend into the dark water. The stealth vessel approaches my position with silent engines. I grab the metal handle of the open external airlock door. My muscles ache with a deep and painful burning sensation. I pull my heavy body inside the small, dark metal chamber. The thick steel hatch closes tightly behind my wet boots. System alert. Internal atmosphere is returning to normal. The freezing water drains quickly through the floor grates. I collapse heavily onto the cold, wet steel deck of the ship. The pilot opens the inner door and helps me stand up slowly. He sees the dark, exhausted expression on my pale, tired face. I push him away gently and walk back to the command center. The main monitor shows our clear path to the hidden base. System alert mission objective remains entirely uncompromised. I sit back down in the leather chair and close my heavy eyes. The stolen data drive pulses warmly inside my chest pocket. This information will completely destroy the enemy syndicate. I must prepare my mind for the inevitable brutal retaliation. They will send their elite hunters to track my exact moves. System alert. Neural regeneration requires deep sleep cycle. I let my consciousness drift into the quiet, dark void now. Several hours pass in absolute silence aboard the stealth ship. A loud proximity alarm suddenly shatters my peaceful rest. I open my eyes and stare at the flashing red warning lights. The stealth submarine shakes violently from a massive impact. System alert hull integrity is compromised at the rear sector. I rush toward the main engineering bay with fast, heavy steps. Thick black smoke fills the narrow metallic corridor ahead. A squad of elite enemy divers has breached our outer hull. They wear heavy mechanical suits designed for deep-sea combat. Their visors glow with a sinister dark red targeting laser. I calculate the exact combat parameters in a single second. System alert intruders possess advanced anti-hypnosis gear. Standard visual static will not bypass their heavy shielding. I must evolve my camouflage technique to survive this fight. The lead diver points a massive harpoon gun at my chest area. I channel my raw energy into a completely new frequency range. The neon spots on my skin shift into the ultraviolet spectrum. System alert. Ultraviolet chromatic sequence is now engaged. The invisible light pierces directly through their red visors. Their optical filters cannot block wavelengths they cannot scan. A sudden violent seizure strikes the hostile squad commander. His heavy harpoon gun fires blindly into the steel ceiling. A high-pressure steam pipe explodes, showering them in heat. I amplify the ultraviolet pulse to maximum structural output. System alert enemy neural pathways are melting down rapidly. The remaining divers drop their heavy weapons in pure panic. They claw desperately at their sealed metallic combat helmets. The invisible static creates a false sensation of burning fire. Their brains truly believe their bodies are turning into ash. I walk slowly through the thick smoke toward their positions. My ultraviolet skin casts no visible light in the dark hallway. I am a complete ghost, hunting them inside their own nightmare. System alert. Total psychological collapse achieved in targets. The intruders collapse onto the metal floor in absolute agony. I step over their twitching bodies without a shred of pity. The breach in the hull requires immediate manual sealing now. I pull the heavy emergency lever down with extreme raw force. Thick blast doors slide shut, blocking the cold ocean water. System alert structural integrity is temporarily stabilized. The pilot runs into the engineering bay holding a small rifle. He looks at the defeated elite divers in absolute pure shock. I command him to return to the helm and accelerate the ship. We must leave this hostile sector before reinforcements arrive. The submarine surges forward through the dark, freezing depths. My ultraviolet camouflage slowly fades back into normal skin. A sharp pain stabs through my entire central nervous system. System alert critical bioenergy depletion is now detected. I fall hard against the cold steel wall of the dark corridor. My vision darkens as the immense physical toll claims my body. I have pushed the neural static ability far beyond its limits. The stolen data drive remains perfectly safe inside my pocket. I slowly drag myself back toward the main medical bay area. Every single muscle fiber screams in pure agonizing torment. System alert emergency healing protocol is starting right now. I climb inside the glass medical pod and seal the heavy lid. Thick blue liquid fills the tank and covers my wounded body. The cold synthetic fluid numbs the burning pain in my nerves. I stare up at the dim ceiling lights through the blue water. The enemy will never stop hunting me after this massive loss. They will develop new technology to counter my visual static. System alert threat analysis predicts extreme future danger. I must continue to evolve my hypnotic camouflage techniques. The ultimate goal is to control the very fabric of reality. I close my eyes and let the fluid repair my broken, torn cells. The stealth ship finally reaches the hidden underwater base. A massive mechanical claw grabs our hull and pulls us inside. System alert docking procedure completed with high success. I will wake up stronger and ready to destroy their whole army. The thick blue healing fluid drains slowly from my glass pod. Cold air rushes over my newly repaired synthetic skin layers. I feel a massive surge of raw kinetic energy in my core. System alert cellular repair process is entirely successful. The heavy metal lid slides open with a loud mechanical hiss. I step out onto the cold steel floor of the medical center. A medical droid hands me a fresh set of dark tactical gear. I equip the heavy armor plates over my shifting fractal skin. The stolen data drive rests heavily inside my right palm now. I must deliver this crucial intel to the main command room. The hidden underwater base hums with intense military activity. Armed technicians rush past me carrying heavy energy weapons. I enter the central war room through a massive steel door. The base commander stares at the large digital tactical map. I place the stolen drive directly onto his glass desk surface. He connects the small device to the main computer terminal. Massive holographic files project across the dark, empty room. The enemy syndicate is building a massive floating fortress. System alert. New hostile target coordinates are fully decoded. This skybase contains their primary orbital strike cannon. We have exactly 4 hours before they launch the first attack. Standard visual hypnosis will fail against their new sensors. I must push my neural static into a completely new dimension. System Alert Skill Evolution Protocol is ready for activation. I walk silently toward the specialized combat training room. The heavy blast doors lock securely behind my armored boots. I activate the highest difficulty setting on the control panel. 10 combat drones drop rapidly from the high metallic ceiling. They project intense anti-optic lasers across the dark space. I focus my internal energy into my deep synthetic skin layers. The neon spots shift into a pure, blinding white frequency now. System alert. Absolute light camouflage is currently testing. The drones fire heavy kinetic rounds at my previous position. I manipulate the light waves to bend entirely around my body. My physical form becomes a literal empty void in the room. The targeting sensors fail to register my shifting existence. I unleash a massive wave of pure, white hypnotic energy now. The intense light floods their primitive mechanical processors. Every single drone crashes violently into the hard steel floor. System alert. Spatial light distortion is completely mastered. I deactivate the intense glow and return to my dark armor form. I grab a fresh supply of energy cells for my tactical suit. The fate of our entire operation depends on this single strike. I step onto the fast transport vessel without any hesitation. System alert atmospheric launch sequence is starting right now. Powerful rocket thrusters push the ship out of the dark ocean. We break through the rough water surface with extreme speed. The dark night sky offers perfect cover for our silent ascent. I watch the massive floating fortress appear on the monitor. It hovers ominously above the thick gray storm clouds ahead. Thousands of heavy anti-air cannons protect the outer walls. The pilot initiates the stealth drop sequence above the target. I stand by the open hatch, feeling the freezing wind hit me. System alert high-altitude deployment is fully authorized now. I dive headfirst into the freezing, dark, turbulent atmosphere. The violent wind tears fiercely at my heavy tactical clothing. I activate the absolute light camouflage during my rapid fall. My body becomes totally invisible against the dark night sky. The enemy radar systems scan the empty air right through me. I deploy my kinetic parachute just meters above the steel roof. My heavy boots land silently on the cold metallic surface area. System alert infiltration of the floating fortress is a success. I detach the parachute and let it blow away in the strong wind. A squad of elite sky guards patrols the upper observation deck. They wear combat helmets with multiple visual spectrum filters. I walk directly toward them with slow and calculated footsteps. The bright white fractals pulse deeply beneath my dark armor. I project a massive spatial distortion field across the deck. The guards suddenly stop moving their heavy mechanical weapons. System alert. Advanced optical filters are experiencing overload. Their brains try to process the impossible bending of light. I feed them a false reality of a peaceful and empty sky deck. The elite soldiers lower their rifles with blank, empty stares. I walk right past their frozen bodies without making a sound. The thick metal door opens into a brightly lit white corridor. System alert. Internal security sensors detect foreign presence. Red warning lights flash rapidly across the entire long hallway. Automated defense turrets drop from the high metallic ceiling. They track my exact location using thermal and motion scanners. I instantly drop my core body temperature to absolute freezing. The bright white neon spots absorb all my kinetic heat output. The automated turrets lose their primary target lock instantly. System alert. Thermal camouflage is bypassing machine defenses. I sprint down the long corridor with extreme physical speed. The turrets fire blindly into the empty space far behind me. I reach the central elevator shaft leading to the core reactor. I force the heavy steel doors open with my bare armored hands. A deep, dark abyss stretches down into the belly of the base. I grab the thick, greasy steel cable and slide down rapidly. The friction generates intense heat against my tactical gloves. I land heavily on top of the descending main elevator cabin. System alert target destination is approaching very rapidly now. I punch a massive hole straight through the thin metal roof. My heavy body drops down into the crowded elevator interior. 5 heavily armed enemy commanders stare at me in pure shock. I do not give them a single second to raise their huge weapons. A blinding flash of pure chromatic energy erupts from my skin. The intense visual noise completely destroys their optic nerves. System alert. Instant neural shutdown achieved in all targets. They collapse onto the metal floor like broken wooden puppets. The elevator doors open into the massive central reactor room. A giant glowing blue energy core pulses loudly in the center. Hundreds of technicians monitor the complex orbital strike gun. The base commander stands proudly on a high observation balcony. He prepares to order the total destruction of our hidden base. I step out of the elevator and expand my neural static field. System alert maximum area of effect hypnosis is now engaged. The bright white fractals spread across the entire massive room. The air itself seems to bend and warp under my immense power. I project a terrifying illusion directly into their weak brains. They see the blue reactor core melting down in absolute failure. Panic erupts as they believe the fortress is exploding right now. System alert mass psychological manipulation is highly stable. The technicians frantically initiate the emergency self-destruct. They destroy their own control panels to stop the fake meltdown. The real orbital cannon loses all its primary targeting power. The base commander screams orders at his completely deaf crew. He draws his heavy energy pistol and aims it at his own men. I leap up to the high balcony with a burst of kinetic force. My armored fist strikes his chest plate with devastating speed. He flies backward and crashes heavily against the steel wall. System alert primary enemy commander is successfully neutralized. Loud warning sirens echo through the chaotic, crumbling fortress. The self-destruct sequence cannot be stopped by any human now. I walk calmly toward the large, shattered glass window now. The dark, stormy sky waits for my immediate tactical extraction. I dive out of the falling sky base into the freezing cold night. A stealth transport ship catches me perfectly in the dark air. System alert mission accomplished with absolute total efficiency. I watch the massive fortress explode into bright burning pieces. My neural static remains the most dangerous weapon in this war. No army can ever defeat a man who controls their very reality. The stealth transport ship speeds through the dark clouds. I watch the burning sky fortress fall into the Black Sea. A massive shockwave rattles the metal hull of our vessel. System alert extreme kinetic turbulence is now detected. I stabilize my heavy body against the cold steel bulkhead. The pilot pushes the throttle to absolute maximum velocity. We must escape this hostile airspace before they retaliate. The syndicate will definitely send their elite hunter drones. I check the remaining energy levels in my tactical armor. System alert core battery power is currently dropping fast. A sudden bright red light flashes across the dark cockpit. 3 massive supersonic jets drop from the upper atmosphere. They fire heavy plasma torpedoes directly at our rear engines. The pilot executes a violent, evasive barrel roll maneuver. The glowing projectiles miss our ship by a few short meters. System alert. Hostile lock-on sequence is resetting right now. I step into the rear deployment bay without any hesitation. The heavy metal ramp lowers into the freezing night storm. I must neutralize those jets before they destroy our transport. I channel my raw neural energy into a massive optical burst. The bright neon fractals spin wildly across my synthetic skin. I project a wide area spatial distortion into the dark sky. System alert chromatic hallucination field is fully active. The enemy pilots look directly at my shifting light patterns. Their advanced optical sensors amplify the visual corruption. I feed their brains a completely false atmospheric reality. They suddenly see a massive mountain peak right in front of them. The lead jet pulls sharply upward to avoid the fake obstacle. His heavy aircraft collides violently with the right wingman. A massive explosion of orange fire illuminates the dark clouds. System alert. 2 hostile targets are completely neutralized. The third jet ignores the illusion and accelerates toward us. They have activated an automated blind navigation protocol. The pilot relies entirely on pure thermal tracking data now. I instantly drop my outer skin temperature to absolute 0. My body stops emitting any traceable heat signatures at all. System alert. Thermal camouflage is bypassing their sensors. The automated targeting system loses its primary radar lock. The enemy jet flies blindly past our silent stealth transport. I release a focused beam of pure kinetic energy at their engine. The invisible force strikes the delicate exhaust turbine hard. The massive metal engine stalls instantly in the freezing air. The heavy aircraft falls helplessly into the dark ocean below. System alert: aerial pursuit has been successfully terminated. I press the heavy button to close the metal deployment ramp. The thick steel door seals out the violent howling wind noise. I walk slowly back toward the main cockpit of the dark ship. My synthetic muscles ache from the intense energy expenditure. The pilot points at a new blinking red dot on the radar screen. System alert: massive ground facility detected in the desert. This is the central command bunker for the entire syndicate. We must strike them now while their defenses are fully chaotic. The transport ship alters its course toward the dry wasteland. We fly low over the endless dunes of yellow blowing sand dirt. The hidden bunker is buried deep beneath the burning desert. Heavy anti-aircraft turrets scan the empty sky for intruders. I prepare my body for another extreme tactical infiltration. System alert. Deep environmental adaptation is starting now. My outer skin shifts into a perfect sandy yellow color pattern. The transport drops me exactly 2 miles away from the target. I land heavily on the soft, dry sand without making any sound. The extreme heat of the desert sun beats down on my dark armor. I activate my thermal cooling system to prevent a total crash. System alert. Internal temperature is successfully stabilized. I sprint across the open desert with immense physical speed. The automated turrets sweep their lasers across the dunes now. My visual static blends perfectly with the rising heat waves. The primitive sensors cannot distinguish me from the hot sand. I reach the massive steel blast doors of the underground base. 2 heavily armored guards stand watch with huge plasma rifles. System alert: hostile biological targets are blocking the path. I project a highly concentrated hypnotic pulse into their eyes. The bright yellow fractals overwrite their visual processing. They suddenly see a massive sandstorm approaching their post. The guards drop their heavy weapons and cover their blind faces. I walk calmly past them and place my hand on the control panel. A surge of raw kinetic energy shatters the electronic lockbox. System alert. Main entrance security is completely compromised. The heavy steel doors slide open with a loud mechanical groan. I step into the cool, dark concrete hallway of the hidden base. Red emergency lights bathe the long corridor in a crimson glow. A squad of elite internal defenders rushes toward my position. They wear specialized helmets with complete sensory deprivation. System alert: standard visual hypnosis will not affect them now. They navigate using advanced sonar pulses and vibration tracking. I must alter my entire physical frequency to survive this fight. I channel my energy into a deep subsonic acoustic vibration. My synthetic muscles hum with a terrifying low-frequency sound. System alert. Subsonic neural disruption field is fully active. The invisible sound waves crash into their sensitive sonar gear. Their heavy helmets amplify the destructive acoustic resonance. The elite soldiers collapse to the floor in absolute pure agony. Their auditory nerves overload from the heavy sound pressure. I walk over their twitching bodies with cold, calculated steps. The central command center is located at the end of this hall. System alert: high-value target is waiting behind the final door. I kick the heavy metal door off its thick steel hinges instantly. The syndicate leader sits behind a massive black glass desk now. He holds a small remote detonator in his shaking right hand. He threatens to destroy the entire underground facility now. I do not give him a single second to press that red button. I unleash the absolute maximum output of my chromatic hypnosis. System alert. Total reality overwrite protocol is now engaged. The entire room dissolves into a swirling vortex of neon colors. I project a false reality of absolute victory into his weak mind. He truly believes that I have surrendered to his immense power. A sick smile spreads across his pale and terrified human face. He drops the heavy detonator onto the black glass desk surface. System alert: hostile threat level is successfully neutralized. I walk slowly toward him and grab his expensive suit collar. My armored fist delivers a brutal kinetic strike to his jawline. The massive physical impact instantly knocks him unconscious. His limp body slumps heavily over the dark, shiny desk surface. I secure the remote detonator inside my deep tactical pouch now. System alert: primary mission objective is completely fulfilled. I access the main computer terminal to steal their dark files. The digital data transfers rapidly into my secure encrypted drive. This information reveals the location of their final hidden base. I will destroy every single branch of this evil organization. System alert. Massive data extraction is successfully completed. I leave the dark command room and walk back into the hallway. The loud emergency sirens continue to wail throughout the bunker. I must reach the surface before the automated lockdown initiates. I sprint past the unconscious bodies of the elite security guards. The heavy steel blast doors begin to close slowly ahead of me. I slide rapidly under the descending metal with extreme precision. System alert tactical escape maneuver is executed perfectly. The hot desert air hits my synthetic skin like a physical weapon. The stealth transport ship waits silently on the high sand dune. I climb up the heavy metal ramp and enter the dark, safe interior. The pilot immediately launches the vessel into the clear blue sky. System alert atmospheric extraction is proceeding without errors. I sit down in the leather chair and check my core power levels. My energy reserves are completely drained from the intense combat. I close my eyes and let the cooling systems soothe my hot muscles. The syndicate is rapidly losing their grip on this entire world. They cannot fight a man who controls their deepest visual fears. System alert. Neural regeneration cycle is starting automatically. I will hunt them down until every single base turns into ashes. My chromatic static is the ultimate weapon of total destruction. The silent transport ship pierces the thick gray storm clouds. Cold synthetic fluids pump rapidly through my damaged muscles. I feel my core energy slowly returning to maximum capacity now. System alert. Neural regeneration cycle is fully complete today. I open my heavy eyes and stare at the dark metal ceiling above. The stolen data drive rests securely inside my tactical pouch. I pull the small device out and examine its smooth metal casing. This tiny object contains the absolute destruction of my enemies. I connect the small device directly to the main ship computer. Massive holographic maps project across the dark cabin space. The blue light illuminates the cold steel walls of our transport. The final syndicate stronghold is hidden deep under the ocean. They built a massive fortress inside an active volcanic trench. System alert. Deep sea coordinates are successfully decoded now. The extreme water pressure protects them from orbital strikes. The boiling magma provides infinite raw energy for their shields. I must infiltrate this deep abyss and destroy their final core. The pilot adjusts our flight path toward the dark Pacific zone. We fly silently over the endless expanse of black, choppy water. The violent storm rages heavily across the empty, dark horizon. I equip a specialized heavy pressure suit over my fractal skin. Thick titanium plates lock firmly over my synthetic chest area. Heavy tungsten boots secure my stance on the vibrating floor. System alert. Deep aquatic combat gear is fully calibrated now. I check the internal oxygen supply of my dark armored helmet. The transport ship dives violently into the freezing Black Sea. Thick waves crash heavily against our reinforced glass windows. We sink rapidly into the absolute darkness of the ocean floor. Heavy water pressure squeezes the metal hull with immense force. I watch the depth meter drop past 10,000 meters instantly. The glowing red magma vents illuminate the dark water ahead now. System alert extreme thermal radiation is currently detected. A massive titanium dome rests directly over the active volcano. Thick metal pipes pump boiling water out of the central reactor. Hundreds of automated submarine drones patrol the outer sector. They project heavy sonar pulses through the dense dark water. I step into the flooded airlock without any trace of hesitation. The heavy steel hatch opens into the crushing oceanic pressure. I activate my internal kinetic field to repel the heavy water. System alert. Absolute pressure resistance is fully active now. I swim silently toward the massive glowing underwater fortress. The freezing water tries to penetrate my thick titanium armor. My internal heating systems work flawlessly to keep me alive. The bright neon fractals pulse deeply beneath my dark armor. I project a massive spatial distortion into the freezing water. System alert. Aquatic chromatic hallucination is now engaged. The enemy drones swim directly into my visual static field now. Their primitive optical sensors absorb the intense white light. I feed their mechanical brains a completely empty ocean reality. They scan the dark water and find absolutely nothing dangerous. The heavy machines deactivate their weapons and float away now. System alert, outer perimeter security is completely bypassed. I reach the thick titanium hull of the main underwater facility. A massive industrial airlock provides the only direct entrance. 4 heavy deep sea guards stand outside the massive metal door. They carry massive kinetic harpoon guns with explosive tips. I do not give them a single second to raise their huge weapons. I unleash a highly concentrated burst of pure chromatic energy. System alert. Localized neural disruption is fully successful. The bright white light completely destroys their optic nerves. They drop their heavy harpoon guns into the dark, muddy bottom. Their heavy armored bodies collapse into the freezing black mud. I place my armored hands directly onto the thick digital lock. A powerful surge of kinetic energy shatters the internal wiring. System alert, primary airlock mechanism is successfully broken. The heavy metal doors slide apart with a loud mechanical groan. I step into the dry decompression chamber and drain the water. The loud pumps remove all the heavy liquid from the small room. The inner door opens into a massive, brightly lit metallic forge. Giant robotic arms move heavy steel crates across the wide room. Loud industrial hammers smash hot metal into deadly new weapons. Hundreds of armed syndicate soldiers guard the central reactor. System alert. Massive hostile biological presence is detected. They wear heavy combat helmets with advanced neural dampeners. Standard visual hypnosis will not penetrate their thick shields. I must push my chromatic power into a completely new frequency. I channel raw kinetic energy into my deep synthetic skin layers. The bright white fractals shift into a terrifying crimson red. System alert. Absolute reality overwrite sequence is starting. I project a massive wave of pure red light across the wide room. The intense visual noise bypasses their primitive armor filters. Their weak human brains try to process the impossible red color. I feed them a horrifying illusion of their own absolute demise. They suddenly see the massive metal ceiling collapsing on them. System alert, mass psychological trauma is completely stable. The elite soldiers drop their heavy weapons in pure blind panic. They fall to the hard steel floor and cover their useless heads. Some of them run blindly into the heavy industrial machinery now. I walk right past their shaking bodies without making a sound. My heavy armored boots echo loudly across the empty metal floor. A massive mechanical enforcer drops from the high steel catwalk. This giant robot is entirely immune to any visual manipulation. It raises 2 heavy rotary cannons and aims them at my chest. System alert. Pure mechanical threat is actively engaging now. I instantly drop my core body temperature to absolute freezing. My thermal signature vanishes completely from its radar screen. The giant robot fires blindly into the empty space behind me. Heavy kinetic bullets shatter the thick concrete floor plates. I sprint forward with immense physical speed and raw power now. I leap high into the air and land directly on its shoulders. My armored fist punches straight through its main optic sensor. I rip the central processing unit out of its heavy metal skull. System alert. Heavy mechanical enforcer is entirely destroyed. The giant machine crashes violently onto the hard steel floor. I drop the broken computer core and continue my silent advance. The central command tower rises high above the factory floor. A thick glass elevator tube leads directly to the top level. I shatter the heavy glass doors with a single powerful strike. I grab the thick steel cable and pull myself up the long shaft. My synthetic muscles burn with intense raw kinetic energy now. I reach the top floor and kick the metal doors open violently. System alert, high-value target is waiting inside this room now. The Supreme Syndicate leader stands behind a massive steel desk. He wears a heavily armored mechanical exoskeleton combat suit. Thick energy shields protect his physical biological form now. He points a massive plasma cannon directly at my armored chest. I do not give him a single second to pull that heavy trigger. I unleash the absolute maximum output of my deep neural static. System alert. Ultimate chromatic hallucination is fully active. The entire room dissolves into a swirling vortex of neon colors. I project a false reality of absolute victory into his mind. His advanced combat suit tries to block my intense visual noise. The heavy mechanical processors overload from the raw data now. System alert, enemy defensive systems are completely destroyed. He truly believes his heavy plasma cannon has killed me now. A sick smile spreads across his pale and terrified human face. He lowers his massive weapon and drops his glowing shield now. I walk slowly toward him and grab his thick mechanical collar. My armored fist delivers a brutal kinetic strike to his jawline. The massive physical impact instantly knocks him unconscious. His heavy body slumps backward against the thick glass window. System alert, primary syndicate leader is successfully defeated. I access the main control terminal to destroy this entire base. I bypass the heavy security firewalls with pure kinetic force. I initiate the critical overload sequence for the volcanic core. The giant underwater facility begins to shake with immense power. Red warning lights flash rapidly across the dark command center. System alert. Total structural failure is imminent right now. I sprint back toward the heavy airlock with extreme speed now. The panicked soldiers ignore me as they run for the escape pod. They fight each other brutally for a chance to survive this day. I reach the flooded decompression chamber and seal the door now. The heavy metal walls groan under the extreme oceanic pressure. I dive back into the freezing dark water of the ocean trench. My internal kinetic field pushes me rapidly toward the surface. The massive volcanic core detonates with absolute pure violence. A terrifying shockwave of boiling water throws me upward fast. System alert, extreme thermal turbulence is currently detected. I stabilize my heavy armored body against the violent current. The stealth transport ship waits for me below the rough waves. I crash heavily into the open metal airlock of our dark vessel. System alert, tactical aquatic extraction is executed perfectly. I climb into the dark cabin and watch the deep ocean explode. A massive pillar of boiling water erupts into the dark sky now. The entire syndicate organization is permanently erased today. My neural static remains the absolute most dangerous weapon. No army can ever defeat a man who controls their very reality. The stealth transport ship climbs steadily into the dark sky. I watch the massive ocean vortex fade into the black horizon. My synthetic body requires immediate deep cellular repair now. System alert. Tactical neural regeneration is currently paused. A sudden violent tremor shakes the entire metal cabin floor. The pilot frantically taps the glowing green radar dashboard. A massive shadow blocks out the pale light of the full moon. I look through the reinforced glass window above my head now. A colossal orbital dreadnought hovers silently in the clouds. This new enemy possesses incredibly advanced stealth cloaking. System alert, unknown hostile flagship is locking onto us now. They fire a heavy electromagnetic pulse at our main engines. The invisible energy wave instantly fries our flight computer. Our dark transport ship begins a terrifying free-fall descent. We are dropping straight toward a massive glowing neon sprawl. The sprawling cybernetic megacity approaches at extreme speed. I must prepare my armored body for a catastrophic hard crash. I secure my heavy tungsten harness to the thick steel bulkhead. System alert. Extreme kinetic impact is calculated in seconds. 4 heavy boarding pods launch from the dark orbital cruiser. They smash violently into the outer hull of our falling ship. Thick metal clamps lock their pods directly onto our fuselage. Elite orbital shock troopers are preparing to breach our door. I channel raw kinetic energy into my deep synthetic skin layers. My bright neon fractals begin to spin with intense rapid speed. The heavy steel airlock door explodes inward with massive force. 6 massive, heavily armored soldiers step into the dark cabin. They wear thick vacuum suits with advanced environmental seals. I instantly project a highly concentrated spatial distortion. System alert. Confined chromatic hallucination is fully active. The bright flashing patterns overwrite their optic processors. Their advanced combat visors amplify the intense visual noise. I feed their weak minds a terrifying illusion of pure vacuum. They suddenly believe the entire ship has lost all oxygen now. The elite soldiers drop their heavy kinetic rifles in pure panic. They claw desperately at their thick sealed titanium helmets. Their oxygen meters show perfectly normal atmospheric pressure. Their corrupted biological brains completely reject the reality. One soldier violently rips his own helmet off his heavy suit. He collapses onto the metal floor, gasping for fake empty air. The others follow his foolish lead and disable their own gear. I walk calmly past their twitching bodies without any emotion. My heavy armored boots crush their dropped weapons into pieces. System alert. Immediate hostile boarding threat is neutralized. The ground approaches with absolutely terrifying terminal speed. The pilot manages to restart the secondary emergency thrusters. Our heavy ship violently slams into a massive glass skyscraper. Thick shards of broken glass rain down upon the dark city streets. The transport slides heavily across the wide concrete rooftop. We finally come to a complete stop near the high building edge. I detach my heavy safety harness and stand up on my feet now. The pilot is completely unconscious, but his vitals remain stable. I kick the jammed metal side door out into the rainy, dark night. System alert. Atmospheric environment is heavily polluted today. Acidic rain drops sizzle against my hot synthetic armor plating. The massive megacity glows with millions of bright neon signs. This environment is the absolute perfect hunting ground for me. My chromatic skin can blend flawlessly with the flashing lights. Loud police sirens wail in the deep concrete canyons below me. The orbital dreadnought deploys hundreds of heavy flying drones. They scan the massive skyscraper with bright blue laser beams. I must escape this exposed rooftop before they pinpoint my heat. I activate my deep thermal cooling system to mask my signature. My outer body temperature instantly drops to match the cold rain. System alert. Total thermal camouflage is successfully engaged. I leap directly off the high edge of the massive glass building. The freezing wind howls violently past my falling armored body. I deploy my kinetic glide suit to slow my rapid heavy descent. I land silently on a narrow steel balcony 20 floors below. The search drones fly right past my completely hidden position. I watch them scan the empty rooftop with pure mechanical logic. They cannot find a target that emits absolutely zero body heat. I step into the dark, empty apartment through an open glass door. This abandoned room provides a perfect temporary tactical base. I sit on the dusty wooden floor and assess my current situation. The orbital dreadnought belongs to the Global Defense Coalition. They want to steal my deep neural static technology for themselves. I will never let them harness my absolute destructive visual power. System alert. Heavy biological targets are approaching the door. An elite tracking squad has somehow followed my kinetic trail. They carry massive sonic cannons to disrupt my optical illusions. I stand up slowly and let the neon light wash over my dark armor. The bright pink and blue reflections hide my shifting skin patterns. The heavy wooden door shatters under a massive physical kick. 4 heavily augmented hunters enter the dark, empty living room. Their cybernetic eyes glow with a terrifying, deep crimson light. They fire a massive wave of pure sonic energy directly at my chest. The heavy, invisible force pushes me violently against the back wall. My internal synthetic organs vibrate with intense physical agony. System alert. Critical acoustic trauma is currently detected now. I must disable their acoustic weapons before they rupture my core. I channel my entire energy reserve into a blinding optical burst. The bright neon fractals explode across my dark synthetic skin. I project a massive spatial distortion into the small, tight room. System alert. Overwhelming chromatic hallucination is active. The intense visual static completely floods their optic sensors. I feed their cybernetic brains a terrifying illusion of betrayal. They suddenly see their own teammates as horrific alien monsters. The lead hunter screams in pure panic and raises his sonic cannon. He fires a massive acoustic blast directly at his closest partner. The heavy sound wave crushes the massive armor of his own friend. The second hunter retaliates with a brutal kinetic heavy punch. His metal fist shatters the cybernetic jaw of the squad leader. I stand perfectly still and watch them destroy their own small team. My shifting colors blend completely into the flashing neon signs. They cannot perceive my physical presence in this chaotic room. The last remaining hunter drops his heavy weapon in pure exhaustion. He looks around the broken room with absolute complete confusion. I step out of the deep shadows and grab his heavy metal collar. My armored fist delivers a brutal kinetic strike to his weak face. The massive physical impact instantly knocks him totally unconscious. System alert. Localized hostile threats are completely eliminated. I step over their broken heavy bodies and exit into the hallway. The entire megacity is now swarming with their elite ground troops. I must reach the central broadcast tower to end this entire war. I walk calmly down the dark concrete stairs toward the street level. The heavy acidic rain continues to wash the dirty city pavement. Hundreds of armed soldiers block the main intersection ahead of me. They have deployed massive walking tanks with heavy plasma cannons. I cannot defeat an entire mechanical army with simple brute force. I must use the massive city infrastructure to amplify my deep power. I approach a massive glowing digital billboard on the street corner. I smash the heavy glass screen with a single powerful kinetic strike. I connect my internal neural interface directly to the broken wires. System alert global network integration is starting right now. I push my chromatic static directly into the city digital grid. Every single neon sign in the massive district begins to flash wildly. The bright screens display my terrifying, deep-shifting visual fractals. I project a massive area spatial distortion across the entire street. System alert. Maximum urban reality overwrite is fully engaged. The entire mechanical army looks directly at the glowing street signs. Their advanced optical sensors absorb the intense, bright visual noise. I feed their collective minds a completely false apocalyptic reality. They suddenly see the massive city buildings collapsing around them. The heavy walking tanks fire their plasma cannons at empty dark skies. They believe massive alien ships are descending from the storm clouds. The elite soldiers run blindly into the dark concrete alleyways now. They drop their heavy weapons and cover their useless armored heads. I walk right through the absolute center of their chaotic formation. My heavy boots splash loudly in the deep puddles of dirty rainwater. Not a single soldier notices my physical presence in the dark street. They are entirely trapped inside their own terrifying visual nightmares. System alert mass psychological control is completely stable now. I reach the massive steel doors of the central city broadcast tower. The heavy electronic locks spark wildly from my intense visual static. I kick the thick metal doors open with a massive surge of kinetic power. The grand marble lobby is completely empty and completely silent now. I step into the high glass elevator and press the top floor button. The fast mechanical cabin shoots rapidly up the tall, dark building. I watch the chaotic, burning city streets shrink far below my feet. My synthetic muscles ache from the extreme neural energy expenditure. I must finish this final mission before my core battery fully drains. System alert. Internal power levels are currently dropping very fast. The elevator stops with a loud mechanical ding at the highest floor. The thick glass doors slide open to reveal a massive luxury penthouse. The Supreme Commander of the Defense Coalition stands by the window. He wears a pure white armored suit with heavy kinetic energy shields. He holds a massive glowing plasma sword in his right mechanical hand. He stares at the burning city below with absolute pure angry disbelief. He turns around and points his heavy glowing weapon directly at my chest. He demands to know how I destroyed his entire elite mechanical army. I do not waste a single second answering his foolish, arrogant questions. I unleash the absolute final reserve of my deep chromatic hypnosis. System alert. Ultimate reality collapse protocol is now fully active. The entire luxury penthouse dissolves into a swirling vortex of color. I project a false reality of absolute dominant victory into his mind. He truly believes he has sliced my body into pieces with his hot sword. A proud, arrogant smile spreads across his pale and tired human face. He deactivates his heavy kinetic shield and lowers his glowing weapon. I walk slowly toward him and grab his expensive white armored collar. My heavy fist delivers a brutal kinetic strike directly to his chest. The massive physical impact shatters his thick white ceramic armor. He flies backward and crashes heavily into the thick glass window. The heavy transparent pane cracks wildly under his massive heavy weight. He slumps onto the dark wooden floor in a completely unconscious state. System alert primary hostile commander is successfully neutralized. I access his personal computer terminal on the massive glass desk. I download all the hidden encrypted files regarding their dark network. The digital data transfers rapidly into my secure internal hard drive. System alert. Massive intelligence extraction is completely finished. I walk over to the broken glass window and look down at the dark city. The massive army is still fighting invisible phantoms in the wet streets. They will remain trapped in that deep hallucination for many long hours. I have completely dismantled the most powerful military force on Earth. My deep neural static remains the absolute most dangerous weapon ever. No army can ever defeat a man who controls their fundamental reality. I step out onto the cold, wet balcony and prepare my kinetic glide suit. I dive silently into the dark, rainy night to hunt down the rest of them. System alert. Neural regeneration cycle is starting automatically now. My shifting colors blend perfectly into the endless, dark, stormy sky.
This video and everything in it are completely fictional and original creations by the author. The story is made only for storytelling and entertainment inside a fictional universe. It isn't meant to encourage violence, dangerous actions, or harmful behavior, and nothing in this video should be copied in real life. All characters shown in this work are fictional and are presented as 18 years old or older. This content is made only for entertainment and isn't intended to offend, attack, or harm any person, group, or organization. This channel is more than just entertainment. It's made to share deep ideas, powerful meanings, and valuable insights through stories that make you think and feel in a new way.